quarter to 1 in the morning. But you know, I've only been doing YouTube for what, 11 years. What do I know about doing this properly? But anyway, welcome to the stream. Got a few things we're going to attempt to possibly get done. One of the main things, I've actually just noticed a minifigure that fell on the floor because I accidentally bumped into the shelf. So we're going to have to fix a few on the shelf that have fallen over. We're going to continue what we have been. I admittedly didn't do one of these last night. Do you want to know why? Well, a friend of mine who I normally play GTA 5 with online got his sister involved as well. So the three of us just spent time mucking around. So, yeah. That's pretty much what happened. So, and you know, I do occasionally take nights off and sometimes multiple days off from doing these. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, we're going to be continuing doing what we have been in these, just continuing the last of the organization and stuff like that. And going, thanks, man. Been collecting for many years. Honestly, you know, at one point there was a whole thing on someone's community tab on YouTube where they were valuing my collection and trying to figure out a way of pricing it. Because some people, so that was at one point, somewhat, granted, a few things have fallen over on my shelves. So many figures I'm going to be sorting out during the stream. But some people have tried to value, and this is only one. Yep, Cloud City right there. Yep, 2007 UCS Falcon. So mine's is the OG one. But yeah, there's like a whole thing on here at one point where people were trying to value my collection, and I think they eventually gave up. They gave up once they got into the custom minifigures realm and realized there was no way for them to actually value these. But basically, I have a project. I've not uploaded an episode in about a month, but oh hell yeah! But this is a series I've been doing, collecting all the playable characters from the complete saga in Lego, which involves much money spent on custom-made minifigures to look like the game renders. But this is some of the most worth it one of the most worth it things I have ever done. And it's been a lot of fun because some of these things I could probably never buy again, or would have to wait a long time to be able to buy again, like those Kaminoans. I've got a whole bunch of minifigures for this. I have one of them. At one point, I told myself I wanted to buy all of them, and I've only so far bought one. One second. I have Mace Windu, who does work. I don't know if it'll be obvious on camera. Is that obvious? Ah, I've knocked some figures down from doing that. That was not smart. We need to do some fixing to the shelf anyway, but yeah, I only ever bought Windu. Oh, I suppose I got Windu of the turbo tank, but I do want to get the other four that they did, which was Luminara, Vader, Obi-Wan, and Anakin. I'm surprised we only actually got prequel era characters. I'm surprised I didn't get Luke Skywalker. But I'm going to go put this through and we're going to get started on some things. One second. Okay, what's wrong? You okay? You're alright. You seem okay. Look at it. Alright. Come on then. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, I was also feeding my cat there. I do have 2010. I did debate for a while. See, when they announced they were bringing out the one last year, before we saw how it looked, I debated picking up 2016 because I want to do a comparison video. But I've just fed you. What's the problem? Right, you go do whatever it is you're doing. But yeah, essentially, I wanted to buy it, but like I couldn't. Yeah, grown ass man. Screw it. The 2005 one and 2010 are the best ones. It depends really what you want. Like, for me, with those two sets, it really depends on the aesthetic. So, 2005 for the classic look, but 2010 for the build quality. Because 2005 does look good, but 2005 is also a well. That's my one criticism against it. It's 2005. Like, but that's my one thing I've got to say, because I moved house with both turbo tanks a couple of years back. 2010 is the one that will probably always hold up better that way. I think, especially now, all these years later, on the secondary market, that's the one that is the most. It did. Like, it went from brilliant to amazing to alright to crap. That's kind of how I gauge the turbo tanks. They now, honestly, the 2005 was amazing. 2012 and 2010 improved on it, but they improved on it and never improved on it again. Like 2016 is not terrible. It's one of those weird things. 2016 was never viewed as a brilliant set when it came out, from what I remember at the time. People loved the minifigures. You know, getting Revenge of the Sith versions of Clone Wars minifigures was pretty cool because were ones we hadn't got yet. So, you know, I remember seeing that and thinking, that's perfect. But the build itself wasn't well liked. But to put it into perspective, right? 2025's Turbo Tank was so bad, it redeemed and made 2016 look amazing, which is crazy. I remember me and a friend of mine saw it, and we compared it to something we had said a couple of years beforehand. Me and my friend, right, we had went to go see Indiana Jones, the newer one, Dial of Destiny. And the two of us, up until that point, absolutely hated Kingdom of the Crystal Skull from 2008. We hated Shia LaBeouf's performance. We hated everything about the movie. So when we actually went and saw the new movie, one of the first things we said when it came out, it's so bad, it redeems something it was previously. So, like, when something's bad, it's then made look good because they've somehow made something worse. It's a bit like that to me. Like they somehow made something worse, and I still am astonished they managed to do that. But no, last year's Turbo Tank was so bad. But here's my view on that. We could have got the one and only UT. I'm put this way. I would rather never get a UT80 than get a bad one. Because I feel like we had done it, it would have been a bad one. So that's the way you go. It's either we never get it or we get a terrible one. I'm going to put this in the kitchen. I've been working all week, so I'm just doing all the organisation as well. Sorry about that, I'm back. Close the door. But let me put it to you this way, right? This is my take on it, right? I don't want them to make any more Republic vehicles with Lego Star Wars. And look, I'm a big Clone Wars fan, right? I love that era of Lego. Keep in mind, right, to us in the YouTube community as well, Lego Star Wars, its start on YouTube was with all. It was with all the Republic stuff from coming out in 08 and 09. But Lego could continue to make Republic stuff, right? And I could see where that would go, right? Yes, that's a bit of an L take, but look at it in this way. They're not going to make any more good ones. I'm kind of to that point where it's like, yeah, they could make all these new Republic vehicles, but having seen the last few they've made, I don't really want them to anymore. They're not exactly making good ones, are they? Well, let me put it to you this way, right? Out of all the Republic vehicles we've had in the last couple of years, I actually cannot find any on my shelf. The most modern Republic vehicle that I have is over here, and it's the V19 Torrent, I suppose, in the Arc 170 are back there, right? Now, oh, that's me. Here's my opinion, right? Don't challenge them. I think they would come up with a way. Put it to you this way, right? The last good Republic set, now they can do the small sized ones really well. Look, they're not perfect. They're not as good as the originals, but the 2025 Arc 170 and V19 are okay. They're not good, but they're decent enough. I mean, I could be happy with either of those. I'm still probably going to go back and buy the old ones, but I can be happy with those two, right? I can't, however, say that about other things. The appeal is people don't like the smart brick because we've been getting smart brick sets or versions of sets that we've wanted for a while. Like, let me put it to you this way, right? We have not seen Darth Vader's TIE Advanced as its own standalone set since 2009, right? 17 years. We wait 17 years to get another Vader's TIE with no A-wing, with nothing else attached to it. And it's a smart brick build that doesn't look very good. So that's why people are mad at smart bricks. Because that's what we got stuck with. So it's going to be another long period before we get another one of those. It's things like that where it could annoy people. And it's probably the fact that the smart bricks don't... Apart from... The only smart brick I like is the one that does the 16-bit version of Vader's theme. That's it. But as I was saying about Republic builds, they don't... The under £100 range, right now, that's the way to look at it. The smart bricks could be a good idea, but the sets that they go into suffer because they're there. Like, I was hyped for the idea of a Vader's TIE. Now, I do plan to go buy the one from 2009. I have a lot of nostalgia from that era. I have a lot of sets from that era. It's one of the ones I'm missing. But the fact that the way I would have done smart bricks, actually, I didn't. I got mine a different way. I'll explain soon. I'll go back to my Republic thing, though. So the last good... Lego Star Wars Republic vehicles under 100 can be done well. The V19 Torrent and Arc 170 are decent. They're not 9 out of 10s. They're probably 7 out of 10s, but they do it well. But the last good Republic vehicle that was a big-sized vehicle was that. That's the ATTE from 2022, which is a set which recently got retired. Or it's in the process of going away. I don't think we will ever get a Republic vehicle better than that unless Lego Star Wars change the way they think. Because the Republic gunship from 2023, that Coruscant Guard one, right? It is the set that introduced Slop. But a lot of people can look at it differently because the build is like... Put it this way, the build for a lot of people, it's a lot like having the one from 2013. That's what it feels like. It feels like 2013 but improved. Whereas the Republic gunship we got the year after, right? The Coruscant Guard one, that set irritates a lot of people. I didn't buy any of those sets. I own the minifigures from it because at one point I was collecting all the clone troopers that Lego had made, so I had to go pick up the two that were in that set. You know, that set from 2023 was not that good. The 2013 ATTE, that's why people like that one, because the build is a lot like that. And that's probably why that sold so well, minus the crap figures in it. So the 2023 gunship was not that good, which all people seem to hate me for saying, but it genuinely isn't. The Tidarium from 2015 is like one of the best. I don't have that one. Mine is the 2005 Imperial Inspection version. And then we didn't get any Republic big builds in 2024. I can't remember what the big build we got. What was the big build in the summer wave of 2024? I don't remember. I can't have been that memorable. 2023 sucked. I have two gunships. They're both the 2008 ones because that was my favorite one. People love 2013. I go 2008. And then we got 2023. Where were we? 2025. The Clone Turbo tank gets ruined. So yes, we could go get new play scale Venators, new frigates, and other stuff we've not seen, but it's not going to be worth it because they'll be crap. Right, Cloud City. You asked about that, right? I'll explain the whole thing with Cloud City because everyone thinks that I paid the full value of this. So let's go back to late November 2023. I'm in work on my break. I'm scrolling through eBay, right? As I normally do, right? I had nothing else to do. I'm just scrolling through eBay, right? Having something to drink. And a box about this size, right, comes up on my feed, right? Something this size. By the way, there is something in here we'll unbox during the live stream. It's something I've picked up for a video coming out next year, which I'll talk about as well. And it's a box this size, right? There's no lid, and it's filled with dust, right? Little balls of dust. Everything's coated in dust, right? And, you know, it's £75, and I can see most of the what's in it, and it's mostly filled with this, like, you know, loads of these old school stormtroopers. That one's actually from it with the yellowed helmet, and a whole bunch of these clone troopers, you know, stuff like that. Lego minifigure battle droids, minifigures from between 99 to 2004, right? Roughly loads of minifigures from that era. Now, in that box of stuff, there's this helmet, right? I knew the helmet was in there, but I just assumed it's the standard Boba Fett, this one. So a week later, the package arrives, and I'm going through the package, and I find Cloud City Boba Fett with the helmet off, and it's just sitting there. I was like, I was in awe, right, in getting that minifigure, and I kept it in a little acrylic case on my bookshelf, and I was like, what do I do with it? Because I never thought I'd own that minifigure. In 2023, this was still selling for several thousands, right? So then about a week and a half later, I'm on eBay again, and I find the build, right? The build, full build, you know, landing pad, everything. Without the minifigures, without the instructions, selling for 130. I didn't think twice, I just bought it. So, do you know what? I'm going to start this quest to get everything else from the set. So that's December 2023. Couple things to point out. The little carbonite brick, which is there, I already owned that from another lot. The Darth Vader from the set was in other sets from that era. I already had the Vader. I already had one of the stormtroopers that you get in the set. The Lando, I already had. The Lando, because it's the exact same as the one in the game, I keep the Lando up there, right? So I already had the Lando, the Vader, the Stormtrooper, the Carbonite, and I had the Boba. So I challenged myself to get the other 3 minifigures that you see within this set, right? So the minifigures that I needed to get a hold of were Luke, Leia, and Han. So I didn't actually buy anything for quite a long time after that. The next minifigure I purchased was in July of 2023. And that minifigure was Princess Leia. So I picked up the Leia in the July. He is orange, but it's trying to get a replacement one in orange is slightly difficult. It's a lot of these are custom manufacturers. You'll notice it with my Mace Windu, as the Mace Windu is orange. One of on there is orange, and I know, isn't there 2 Windus? There's 2 Windus on here. One's orange and one is dark brown. I need to find a custom manufacturer to help me sort that one out. But again, for the complete saga, most of that, nothing's 100% accurate. But anyway, for £90, I found on eBay this Leia in July, right? And fun fact about this minifigure, I was moving into this house at this time. I already had family who lived here, but I was moving here. First thing I ever unboxed Lego in this room, like, you know, from this collection. So I picked up the Leia, and then 2 weeks later, I had transferred branches to here for the job that I do, right? And they gave me a bonus, right? You know, I'd went in and I'd done so much stuff for them. I actually got a little bonus from them, right? That's apparently a thing that they sometimes do. It's a small bonus, and I've been working a lot of night shifts, so I had a bit of cash. And then I went on eBay. So this is August 2024, right? I picked up the Luke Skywalker from Bestman. Brilliant minifigure. Finally got that one. And that one was the most expensive. That one cost me... The Leia I was able to get cheap. The Boba Fett, I got the best deal in the world. The Luke, I had to pay the $300 up front, and I won it in an auction getting it at that price, because I've seen them go for $450. So that was a decent deal. And then I didn't come near this project again for another 10 months whatsoever. So fast forward to June of 2025. The final minifigure that I need for this build, right? That I didn't have. And that, of course, was this. The Han Solo that's here. Now, this Han Solo is not special whatsoever. He's a standard one. In fact, he's technically not correct to this scene. That one from 2006 that I use on the display is probably more... And yes, I need to dust it. I've not found the time. That Han Solo there is more accurate to the scene. But this one here from 2000. Now, this predates this set by 3 years. And this is what helped me get it for 50 rather than crazy money. He was in this set beforehand. This is the Lego Star Wars minifigure pack -2. Well, I've actually got the box for it back there. From 2000, you got Luke, Han, and Boba. Now, as a Return of the Jedi minifig pack, it's on the Jedi shelf. This minifigure, this is the one that I got. I'm the happiest with, the cheapest, because I think the main reason this one's cheap is where all the minifigures in this set got their own Empire Strikes Back thing, apart from Vader and the Stormtrooper. The Han as well. If that Han Solo had been special, because we never got that outfit that he wears in Cloud City until 2010 with this minifigure back here. Till then to get him in this outfit, which is what he wears before being frozen in carbonite, before he has the white shirt on. Got him in the Battle of Hoth section of the shelf. So they just threw in the standard Return of the Jedi Han Solo they had at the time. If they had done a special one, I would see that minifigure being worth several hundred also. So that was like a stroke of good luck. Because I don't want to imagine what would have happened, because some Han Solo minifigures are actually kind of pricey. So I credit that one to just sheer luck. Otherwise, I could have paid absolutely insane amounts of money to get that. But yeah, that's how I got Cloud City. I never paid the value that it was worth. I would never have. And I own a lot of expensive sets. But none of the other sets in this collection, in their used condition, is worth that much. Like, not in fact... I think there's only one other set in this collection that is worth £1,000 minimum, sorry, £1,000 max in its used condition, and that's the dropship with ATOT, which I also got at a decent price. But yeah, that's the story of how I have the Cloud City. But yeah, you're right. The Lando in the game is orange. My custom episode 2 Mace Windu is orange. My official non-light up Revenge of the Sith one is dark reddish brown. Something I need to get sorted out. It's one of those weird inconsistencies on my Complete Saga thing. Alright, so that Millennium Falcon there does not sell for anywhere near as much as some people think it does. So when it comes to buying this UCS Falcon, a lot of people see that it sells for well over £1,000. And there's a reason people see them selling for that much. At a certain point in 2007, when buying that set, you would have got a little slip that was numbered. I can't remember exactly how many. I think it's like 1 of 500. If you get one with a certificate, it's immediately worth more money. That one there. Now, I'd always fancied getting that version over the modern one. Yes, everyone always goes at me on this one. Yes, the modern one has more figures that are more detailed. Yes, the modern one has an interior. But the modern one is based off two trilogies. It's based off the original trilogy and all the Disney crap. The problem is, the set is designed to switch out between both trilogies, right? When you look at I remember watching a video when that set came out, which explained what portion it is more. The set is more based off the Disney material than it is, given the way the weathering and the way the ship looks and certain details, than it is the original trilogy, and that's why I never bought that. Because I had quite a few opportunities to get that. But anyway, I've been looking at these on eBay. They go from anywhere between 600 to 800 used. That's in the UK, right? So I knew roughly how much I could expect to pay, right? And I'd looked at them for a while and thought, right, I'm going to have to get myself one of these because I really want one. And I didn't have that much money, but every time I'd bought something on eBay, this ad would come up, and it was for a thing called Klarna. You know, buy now, pay later, pay in free. So instead of paying 600, which was what this was, I think it was 650 was what this was selling for, actually. I did it in free pay-up installments. Do you mean as a vehicle in Star Wars, or do you just mean like the Lego set looks ugly? Got to move these boxes. I'm planning to review these sets at some point soon. I don't know where these are going, to be fair. Go in there for now. I'll be right back. Sorry, I'm back. See, it is not the best looking vehicle, but it's iconic. And I always wanted the one from 07, just because of the way it looked. I mean, there was something about that set, but I grew up not looking at Lego Star Wars sets on the internet, but looking at them in the 2009 Visual Dictionary. So that book has motivated so many goddamn purchases over the years. It's insane. But yeah, we're just organising stuff and rearranging things in the room, because I'm planning to do a room tour video coming up soon. And that's just to help the place look as good as it can for that. But no, like, there's a few stories for how I got certain sets, if you want to hear some. Tell you what, if you want to hear some stories on some of the sets in my collection, you got a fake dropship. Honestly, I almost did that myself. But my dropship with ATOT was a bit of a random gamble. So I'd been at university for the day, right? And when I came out of university, I was on my phone, was looking at some stuff, right? And I had a bit of money sitting around that I'd been saving. And I really wanted to, and this is when I started live streaming on TikTok. I've had this YouTube account for 11 years, and I only started streaming on here at the end of last year because I was streaming on TikTok and I was getting banned for putting up posters. I got banned for talking about how Lego minifigures crack, like the torso's fatigue. I kept getting banned for really annoying things. So I gave up and came to stream over here. But anyway, I had a bit of money and I really wanted to buy a big build to stream on there. And I was between two builds, right? I was between the Ewok Village and something else. But I was on eBay and that dropship with ATOT came up and, you know, you also may like section. I was like, okay, that looks interesting. So I get, where's the bottle of Mountain Dew? A moment. But it came up, right? And I was like, I never considered it because I always looked at that set as something I can't afford. 2024, I was making a bit less money and, you know, having just enrolled in university. Money tight. But anyway, I saw it and I thought, I want to look at that. So I looked at it. No box, no instructions, some of the clone troopers included. The ATOT was fully intact. But you couldn't, but from the pictures, you couldn't tell if the dropship was. In fact, you couldn't even see if the dropship was yellowed or missing parts at all. So I saw it and was like, well, I really want a dropship in ATOT. And I was like, do you know what? The seller estimated it was between 95 to 100% complete, somewhere within that range. So what I did, I bought it right there and then. I was like, do you know what? Screw it. I really want a dropship, so I'll buy the dropship. And I got the dropship, and it arrived about 3 days later. Really quick shipping. There's a video of me unboxing the dropship on this channel from a couple of years ago. Best choice I ever made was the dropship. I, up until that point, had considered doing what you did. You know, going for the fake option, which, I'll be honest, in a lot of cases, I think that makes sense. Because it is one of those sets that, due to the fandom and whatnot, has a very high barrier of entry to get into. I'll be back in a moment. But if you want, while we're doing the organizer, I'll just tell you stories on how I acquired some sets. Alright, I'm back. I appreciate that. Thanks. But I tell you what, I'll put the camera at the shelf, right? And if you want, just pick a random set. Not all of them have got stories behind them, but I will try and tell whatever ones I've got. Some of these sets do either have like they're not. This is not. None of this is from my original collection, but some of them do have like nostalgic kind of things behind them and stuff like that, or just stories in general. The only thing with the audios is, see, when I post up shorts without used audios, they don't get views. That's the one problem I have there. I used to do ones with stories, and they got about 50 views a piece. Because I noticed when I started doing ones of my voice, YouTube stopped putting them into the people's short feeds. In fact, so the whole thing with the stories, that's actually a good idea. I did not think of that. One thing I thought about doing was doing a YouTube video on the subject. Because, you know, not like some of these do have like interesting stories, right? Some of them don't. Cloud City, you've heard. The 2009 Tantive has no story. I merely bought it off eBay, right? I was on night shift and bored and I picked up the Tantive. I don't know. Like, for example, some of these sets caused stories to happen, right? So, for example, in here has two sets, right? So the Monster Fighters Mansion is a set that I always wanted, that I picked up last year. Really cool set from 2012. But, check this. This set here, right? Now, this doesn't come this way. I have the other Scooby-Doo set, the giant one back there. I just don't have anywhere else to put it. And as a kid, I loved these Scooby-Doo movies that they would put out. Every year they'd do a direct-to-DVD movie. It's a big thing, like nostalgia thing for me, right? So when I saw that this set of the Mystery Machine was a thing that Lego did actually do Scooby-Doo in 2015, it just didn't do very well enough to get more than one wave. So that set caused me to go online and actually buy DVDs of all the movies and do a rewatch in my 20s. Honestly, one of the best nostalgia-fueled things ever. So that set, like, for example, has a story. I don't know. Imperial Shuttle from Imperial Inspection doesn't have a story behind it other than I always wanted printed like Stormtroopers. So that's why I bought the set. The 2011 Falcon is one of the more important stories for me. So this links to something, and I'm going to say it here. A lot of people see that photo in the background and make some really disturbed comments, asking why I have someone that shoots up buildings or I have someone that plans mass attacks in my background, which really pees me off. I wanted to make a short explaining the photo, but I also can't, like, physically make myself do it. But me and that person there was my stepdad. And when I was 9 years old in 2012, I got my original copy of this, the 2011 Millennium Falcon. Me and him sat and built that at the kitchen table. So when he passed away in 2024, that was really upsetting. So one of the things I did was I went nuts buying a lot of the Lego sets me and him had built that I hadn't repurchased yet. So this, weirdly enough, despite me having things like Cloud Cities, Superstar Destroyers and stuff, that would be the most important set in my collection, which is ironic because it's one of the most replaceable sets in the collection. Because I was able to get, I wanted this sealed in the box, right? Because, you know, it's one of those weird, unexplainable things about grief. That's kind of how I dealt with it. I bought Lego sets that we built together. Granted, I sat and built them myself in my room, but it weirdly helped quite a bit. And so, I tell you one thing. How cheap that set can be bought sealed is crazy. Because a lot of the Falcon, I remember seeing that set around 2017, selling for well over 200 sealed in the box. 2024, 130 sealed in the box. Box was mint. And granted, people argue this one doesn't have the best figs, but this was the last playset Millennium Falcon that was original trilogy based. Let's see, other ones that have stories behind them. I got an injury at work, right? My work did nothing about it. I then found out that my work was screwing me out of money. So I went to HR. By the way, this just tie into Lego. This was last year. They were mucking me around with wages. So my work, I got quite angry and I phoned up, the company's top management. So they gave me money. I probably could have got more, but I didn't feel like going like the full thing with lawyers and stuff. But they gave me money as a result of, well, here's the money we owe you and some extra. So I bought a brand new sealed in the box Superstar Destroyer from 2011. Like, that one has an interesting story behind it, but not all of them do. A lot of these sets do have nostalgic things behind them. I do remember for my birthday in 2010 getting the Hoth Wampa Cave. The first set I ever bought when I got a pay, like my first working wage. We're going back about 5 years ago here. The very first Lego set I bought that was big with my own money was the 2012 Jabba's Palace, which I bought sealed back then. Probably worth quite a bit more than that condition now, excuse me. And other sets with nostalgic stories behind them. There's loads of these. We could go by shelf. So nothing here really has any nostalgic value. I didn't own any of these sets when they first came out. I got the TIE Bomber, but the other two I did not. I've already talked. The Jabba's Palace one's nostalgic because 2012 as a whole, that year for Lego Star Wars sets. I've told you the Cloud City one, the Hoth Wampa one, there's not much more to it. These battle packs is an interesting one. So these battle packs, I've got the boxes for them, where the boxes we were holding earlier. These sets, I don't know, like, they're not the most usable battle packs. The Imperial one might be, but the Rebel one is not. They're only useful if you're building a giant Hoth setup. Really? I was 9. Honestly, I would have guessed from your profile picture that you're quite a bit older. So 2010 is just one of those years, like, the nostalgia for those battle packs is very real. I'm old. I would be considered, according to in my work. See, this is a side note here. I work in a company that takes on a lot of young people, right? And every year, the year they were born gets changes, obviously, right? And I was born in 2003. Our current lot of youngest people in the business were born in 2010, and they would refer to me as old. So maybe I am. Let's see, we'll go to this shelf. Obviously, I've told you about the story about the Falcon. I got this for my birthday in 2012. And this set helped me get through a very difficult time. There's a few other ones that I have that are the same deal. The 2012 TIE Fighter is me and him also built the kitchen table. So that set is another one. The 2006 X-Wing, I remember getting this on clearance. When I think this is in 2011. So this set had one of the longer life runs, right? So the 2006 X-Wing came out in 06 and retired in late 2010. But the Toys R Us near me had these in 2011, and I think I got this for 25 quid. And this set infamously had the smooth hair of Princess Leia, where it was essentially this piece here, but without all the printed details, completely smooth. And it was a factory error. And I never knew that at the time. I don't even remember if the one I had back in the day was. Fast forward to the end of last year when I bought a sealed one of these off eBay for about 100. I could have got one for 50 if I had went for opened, but I wanted to test my luck. Happy to say, I tested my luck. I got one of them layers. So that's about all the nostalgia you'll get on this shelf. No, wait, there's another one. So this land speeder here from 2010, right? I remember getting this with one of my grandparents in Sainsbury's back then. So that set has, and that person thankfully is still alive. But the memory of getting this set and, taking it home and building it, that's one of the ones that sticks out quite a lot. So this set I do really like a lot for that reason. And, 2010 doesn't feel as long ago. Right, we're on to Revenge of the Sith shelf. So 2005, I was 3 years old, so none of that stuff really hasn't memories for it. But quite a few of them still do. So we'll start off with this one here. This is the 2010. Tell you what, I will have a look at your YouTube channel if you comment hello or something on my most recent short so that I can still find your channel. Because can I click on your channel while I'm here? It lets me click on you, but only to do like moderation thing. I cannot actually go onto your profile because I'm doing this on a phone. But I will look at you later. But anyway, 2010 Palpatine Shuttle. I got this for Christmas that year. So that one's quite nostalgic for that reason. I thought the set was brilliant because it had that burnt Vader, the one with the helmet. And it was the first set I got a Palpatine in. I'll have a look at your channel as well. If you guys comment or something on my most recent short, because I can't seem to access your channels directly. So there's that. Another one that I have nostalgia for in this. So I, as a kid, never went and got Lego Star Wars sets on release. The first time I did was in 2012. And I started off with one of my favorite sets, and I recently got a new copy of this. Like, sure. So this is, I need to dust it badly. I cannot find the thing I used to dust. I might have to order a new one. Anakin's Interceptor from 2012, right? Came with the two little platforms for Anakin Obi-Wan to duel. You also got, Nute Gunray, which was cool because he wasn't the Clone Wars one. I remember getting that January 2nd at the Lego store in 2012, which my brain cannot fathom that was nearly 15 years, because look, these minifigures still look new and modern to me. Look at the Nute Gunray. That's an example. By the way, if you see a figure that's knocked down, it's not meant to be, and we're going to fix them in the stream. It's looking like this will be one of my longer live streams, but screw it. I'm enjoying myself. Very nostalgic set. Another set that I got for my birthday in 2012. Well, wait, no, it wasn't my birthday. I got... Did I? I'm now second guessing myself on when I purchased a Lego set. That's weird. No, I knew this set was coming out, and I had kept my birthday money to buy this set, and it was Palpatine's Arrest from 2012, the one where obviously that scene Revenge of the Sith. That set, the nostalgia for getting that, because it was one of the first times I kept money back for a Lego set that wasn't out yet. So that set has a lot of nostalgia to it. Absolutely brilliant. That would be it for this shelf in terms of nostalgia, because I, again, wasn't around. I do remember seeing the ATAP in catalogs, but I didn't buy it. This shelf will have absolutely nothing on it in terms of nostalgia. There's a vehicle back here that Terra Killers added that shouldn't be there. I can go down on this shelf. See, when I got into Lego Star Wars, Attack of the Clone sets were pretty much non-existent. It wasn't really a thing that they were doing. That is a cool set. I had the 08 one for a while. But no, I never really had any Attack of the Clone sets as a kid. Moving down here, though, this is my Phantom Menace shelf. We've got that Queen Padme there. That 2012 Gungan sub. That is a source of nostalgia. Christmas 2012. And I've knocked this on. So my grandparents on my mother's side of the family, if I remember correctly, got me this. This is, again, not my exact copy. I've had to rebuy my Lego Star Wars collection, but I remember getting that, and they also got me Darth Maul's Sith Infiltrator from 2011. I have not went back and bought that again, though. I do mean to. honestly, I thought it was the coolest thing ever because I didn't remember it. 9-year-old me did not recall this in the movie. That's how I made it cooler. The pod racers I remember getting for Christmas 2011. But that's like all the nostalgia on this shelf. So most of my sets have a like. When I don't buy a lot of new sets that are currently out. A lot of them don't interest me at all. The one thing, if I did a series or a big video on this, it makes people point out and call me old. In my head, these events are not that long ago. That's the crazy thing. Like any other sets, I have stories behind here. That's how I'm also doing this while I think about something else I need to do. I see that you guys have left the comments. That helps. Anyway. So over here, I got one, right? So 2012 X-Wing. Again, like Anakin's Interceptor from January 2012, I went to the Lego store to get this. Which made it even cooler. Again, see the sets that I remember picking up my original copies of? It's that I have a lot of memories of. Let's see. What else here do I remember getting? I remember having a Republic gunship back. I've got two of them now. I remember getting one, but I don't remember where. I think it was probably eBay. CC-10's Jedi Starfighter from the summer of 2012. I remember getting that around Halloween that year from Sainsbury's. On this shelf, I remember getting that ATRT. That's the original one from 2013 with the original 501st one. I remember getting that from. It was probably Toys R Us. I did have the 2010 Turbo Tank. I got that for Christmas. I think no. This set was. Yeah, this was Christmas 2010. I got my original one of those. Right, here. So that main ship up the back I got for Christmas 2012. That was the Malevolence. That one's nostalgic. Second building at Christmas Day. I got a lot of sets that year. Probably the year I got the most Lego. The Geonosian Cannon from 2012. Again, I picked it up day one. Back when it came out. Yeah, those are stickers. And they were never fun. And then there's some Lego themes that cause severe nostalgia. Let me show you this. So, I need to fix it, but Alien Conquest from 2011. Only ran for one wave, if I remember correct, one or two waves, but absolutely brilliant. And something that's dotted throughout the room because I've not organised its display yet. Lego Pharaoh's Quest. Got a bunch of the minifigures for it there. I've got the giant Cobra statue and stuff for it there. And I suppose that's a bit of Monster Fighters that's up there for some reason. And we come down here. We got one of the main vehicles from it. It was only a single lineup of sets. It was, around 2009 through 2012. Lego kept doing these random themes that only ran for a single wave. But I think the one that they put the most money into is Monster Fighters back in the day. Because plus, Monster Fighters works so well with Scooby-Doo, at least this build specifically does. I like this more than the actual Mystery Mansion that they came out with in 2015. It just works so well. 1 second. Oh, cat. Huh? Yeah, she's in. She came in a while ago. Alright, sorry about that, I'm back. But yeah, I have a lot of nostalgia for dead Lego themes, and it's something I would get into further. But it's not just Lego that causes me a space problem if you're new around here. Check this. I'm also big on collecting old school video games. I have a lot of PS2 and a lot of Xbox 360 stuff. I also collect movies, box sets, among other things. So, yeah. I buy a lot of nonsense. Would be one way of putting it. One second, let's try to store something under a shelf. But yeah, I'm also buy retro sets. I've got a few sets I'm planning to build on stream soon. Speaking of 2012, we've got these are some recent pickups. Endor Battle Pack from that year is one of them. I'll put that over here actually on this shelf. And I suppose since it's not getting its own unboxing video, we may as well open up what this is, right? Have to. And if you haven't already, maybe you should consider subscribing because we do a lot of stuff on here. So I've had a video idea for a little while. Some of my favourite sets, especially as a kid, was battle packs. We talked a bit about battle packs here. I have a good chunk, or a reasonable chunk, of all the ones that they've made. One second. What? Why? What's the problem? You're bloody wet. You're bloody wet. How on earth does that happen? You're gonna have to stand on your bed. Ah, my back. Remember, I've got a buggered back as well. For Christ's sake! I could. A huge one. That's putting it wrongly. What? The spider?
Right in the corner.
I thought you liked spider. I thought you liked spider.
Up top. See,
I see there.
see it in the corner.
Yeah, put the light back on.
Right. It's still sitting there. And it's on that thing. See that thing there? Up the top.
It's gone. I got the spider.
Yeah, I can see it still moving.
What are you seeing that's still? It's gone.
It's away.
Yeah.
Right. So there.
You only just not. Did you only just notice it? No, it's funny. I don't have this problem. I wonder why. No.
See the floor, Stephen. See the black. That's cobweb.
Yeah, I see. The spider doesn't.
Come in there with vents.
No, I don't.
People with vents.
Yes, and I don't have this problem. I don't
You
find.
said you bought something.
I did, and I offered it to you, and you said you didn't want it on where you dug. If you want, I'll get you the bottle and let you read it again.
What do you do?
You spray it on the skirting boards, you can spray it on the carpet, you can spray it on the walls. I have not found any at all. I don't. In fact, see that?
Sorry, not problem.
Yes, but how? I don't feel myself getting over to that corner right now. It's just a web. I killed the spider that was up there. I'll go get you the.
I used to get the signal that. What did you do last night?
You ain't going up. You're more. I can't believe you didn't see that till now.
I didn't see the cat there.
She's up now, she's in the kitchen.
Because she's eating on my bed.
And she's big and ginger.
I don't have it.
You make me laugh sometimes. It's like when you couldn't find Tim and you said, "Where's the dog?" and he was sitting next to you.
What was that?
A few weeks ago, you asked me where Willie went and he was sitting next to you. Yeah, man. I fell asleep and then I woke up again. I will be back in a moment. I'm just sorting out some things. This sometimes happens. But yeah, we will continue the stream, Mike. I'm game for going a little bit longer. What?
That's the bigger.
Oh, oh, you got an actual photo.
I got to give me that for a thank you card.
Alright.
That's a name there, but kind of quite basic.
Oh, I can't read that either.
You should see the hair on her now.
Alright, look.
4 months old now.
Yeah?
Oh, I like the hair. It's got beautiful blue eyes. Oh, yes. Oh, damn.
Right?
Red
Right.
for that.
Right? Wait, give me 5.
Eh?
Give me 5 is that?
That was nice there because mine I gave her the present.
Ah.
You know, the blood then it's very sweet like. Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, it's beautiful. And that was when she's born with all that hair.
Ah, there's quite a bit. But, yeah. So anyway, this box is part of a video idea that I've had thinking for a while, and I've only just started to prep for it. So as I was saying, battle packs, right, when I was a kid were some of my favourite sets, because army building. They still are, to be fair, I just don't... I have not done a lot of army building from the last year, admittedly. But... So I showed you guys the Endor Rebels versus Imperials battle pack I've got there. I showed you the Hoth Rebels and Imperial battle pack there. Is there any other battle packs visibly on these shelves? Actually, there's not. Funny enough, but I've wanted to do a video, right? In 2027, the battle packs turn 20 years old, so I've picked up this. I'm not going to build it, obviously, right now. This is a... I'll build both these sets on a different stream. My general rule with battle packs, I feel like I should have 2 of them to make it a live build. But we've got these, right? I'm not going to open it up, but you can maybe tell this is the 2007, so it's one of the first 2 battle packs I did. This is the Droids one. So, pretty cool set. When it's finished, it'll go on my episode 3 display, and it got shipped in this box, because it doesn't have its original box. But yeah, that and the one I showed you guys earlier, the OT style one, those are going to be part of a video where I go through every battle pack. The one unfortunate downside to that video's existence and idea, well, I'm suddenly going to become the owner of some really bad battle packs. Or at the very least, I'm going to own them temporarily. No, this box is going out. That was a box we fiddled with on my second channel. But we're going to get ready to end up soon. I'll do a longer stream later in the day. What?
My phone's in my handbag.
You want me to get it?
It's in my handbag. I like it.
Sitting room. On the bench in the kitchen.
I think it's not a help with that. Honestly.
I told you, you need to do that with your face yourself.
I
I've no...
think you could help me.
You need a white background. You need like a photo background to do it.
Right. So, let's just photograph now. Right.
There's your back down there. Down there. But yeah, I go live a lot of the time. I will be live again later in the day. I was gonna say tomorrow, but I need to remember it's about to click over to 2 in the morning. But you know, this live stream got a decent run. I almost didn't go live. Let's put it that way. But don't know something I will know. See the nights where I debate, am I actually gonna do it? And I end up doing it, end up being the streams that are the more fun ones. How that works, I don't understand. But that seems to be how it is. But tomorrow I'm thinking 2 to 3 hour live stream and just get this place absolutely sorted. And then a couple little live streams throughout the week. And then on Friday, so in 6 days, I'll film the room tour to have it up on the Saturday. So a week today is my goal. And we're getting there. It's also just that last bit that we have to get done and we're good to go. And it will be one heck of a video. And you know, admittedly, it is the project that all my free time has went into. So when it comes out, it will be worth it. In many ways. After this stream, I'm going to have to film this for the second channel where I do game pickups. So these are some recent ones I got. I also have a video that I filmed yesterday that's due to go up. That still isn't up for God knows whatever reason. Or whatever silly reason I've got for not having got round to do that one. Take your pick. So we've got to organise a couple more things, but this live stream will be over within the space of a couple minutes. Probably less than that, maybe even a minute. It's ironic we didn't fix the shelf, but we'll get into that tomorrow as to why we didn't fix it. Because I might be making some changes. I fixed a little bit of it. But anyway, with all that said, I want to thank everyone who joined in for this live stream. The next one, of course, will be later on during the day. You're going to want to check your check the community tab or shorts. That's kind of where I tend to announce when these are coming up. So that would be the way to go. But look, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.